Welcome back to Seoul-ed. During this portion of the show, we're going to talk about Jessica leaving Girls' Generation and what SM Entertainment has stated through their official statement. So on September 29th, Jessica was apparently notified by SM Entertainment and the 8 other members of Girls' Generation to leave the group, even with having an official schedule in Hong Kong on September 30th. So, with that, Jessica has not been to any of the official Girls' Generation schedule afterwards. SM Entertainment also released an official statement on September 30th saying that even though they were planning to schedule Jessica leaving the group more in the future, Jessica has just released her own statement through her SNS account before consulting with them. So with that, there has been a lot of rumors rising up regarding Tyler Gon and Jessica's relationship and their rumored marriage in May of 2015. And also if her leaving the group has anything to do with her own personal fashion business blank. So I would like to open up the discussion to the group.
My opinion when it comes to this kind of thing is kind of like, with all the drama that comes out of it, like I don't really trust the whole marriage rumors because, you know, you never know about dating life. Dating in Korea is considered a scandal, which first of all is already ridiculous. But like, so you never actually know what happens in these people's personal life. You only really see a portion, even if they go on shows, you only see a portion of what happens in their real life. So the marriage thing is a little bit, yeah. But when the whole business aspect of it, like, to me, I don't quite understand why everyone is completely blaming SM, because it doesn't really make sense that they would hurt their own company by forcing Jessica out immediately. Like, they did release a statement saying that they would, you know, she would leave later, which does make sense to me. Like, you know, these people have their own lives. Maybe she does want to get married. Maybe she does want to open up her own company. You know, she probably has some sort of, like, you know, everyone has their own plan, so she was probably going to leave at some point, but the whole, like, they kicked her out, I think the whole, just, like, her putting out that message on Weibo, it was kind of, like, the catalyst that, like, started everything, so, I mean, well, but SM kind of sucks. So.
I think something to consider, now, obviously I don't know all the details, so this might not be true, but it could be something just SM doing a power play. You said earlier, you know, maybe Jessica would have left later, but I wouldn't have expected it right now. Mm-hmm. But maybe something happened and they're like, she mentioned, you know, I'm going to want to leave in a little bit. They're just like, no, I'm not going to take that. Like, we're the masters here. You're out now. Yeah. Like, I mean, it could be something like that. We really, I mean, a lot of the details are still unknown to a lot of us. But I think the SM, I mean, SM's a business. Numbers, I don't want to say this sounds horrible, but numbers matter a lot more than people do. Yeah. So if something's going to hurt their numbers, then they're going to try to cut costs. Obviously, you know, I don't work for SM. I don't know all the details in them.
Don't want to work for SM.
I don't want to work for SM. That's a good thing to say. But
I think what people were saying regarding Jessica's own business and Jessica being in a group was that SM was thinking SM was okay with Jessica opening up her own personal business. It was just that they wanted Girls' Generation to be the main thing, but they didn't want her to use Girls' Generation fame for her own business. So I don't know, like I don't really have a personal opinion on it. I don't know the whole truth behind it, but I mean it could affect how, you know, SM was like thinking in the business mind and think, oh, this could hurt us and made Jessica leave, but
I don't know how much I believe that though, because I don't know how many people in SM, but I'm pretty sure like some people in SM have their own fashion lines, and you know, maybe SM takes a little like a cut or something, but like, okay, Key from SHINee had like a whole art exhibit and he used his name, he used Key from SHINee, he didn't use Kim Kibum, he was like, no, it was like his own art line, and it was kind of weird, but cause Key, but like you can't, like, I don't know, like, I feel like he also did something similar, so, and he did put a lot of his focus on that and not on SHINee, and I don't think SM took a cut from that. I don't know if he sold his art or anything, but, like, you know, so it doesn't, that business aspect side doesn't quite make sense to me. Like, it makes sense, like, if they wanted to make, like, they knew that she was going to do something that was going to, like, you know, maybe something in the fashion, her line was going to mess with something, but, like, I'm pretty sure that would not have been the big thing, you know. I'm sure it was something more than that, you know.
Yeah, and although SM has a like track record of like the members leaving, like Super Junior,
such a bad track record,
EXO, TBXQ, I actually like in this particular instant, it doesn't seem like it's all entirely SM's fault, because from what Jessica said in her statement, it says that the 8 members informed me. So she was kind of like saying that it was partially like the members' fault that they kicked her out, and she also said that like they made her choose between her business and Girls' Generation, which kind of doesn't make sense because all the other members have their own activities. They act, they do radio shows, they do musicals, they do a whole variety of things, and making her choose doesn't make sense also because the upcoming concert in Japan, Soyoung is missing it for her drama filming. Yuna has missed multiple events because of her drama filming. Like, there have been a lot of members that have missed for other activities, and making her choose, it's kind of like, well, it's kind of like weird because they all have their own things, and so why can't she also do her fashion line? And like a bunch of other idols have done it before, like Nikun came out with like bags and stuff, so like a lot of other idols have done both things, and it kind of seems.
I think that like the difference here is that like her fiance or Tyler Kwan's like basically, I think he's playing a big picture in this too, because like, for example, if we look at other idols that have also had their own projects, like this is a really big project on behalf of Jessica. So it really takes the distraction, I think, in SM's like perspective that Jessica is going to be occupied with this. And if they're going to let her get away with it, then I think it kind of like SM loses their power image. So if it's kind of like if like the tyrant or whatever loses to the person that's kind of starting their own image, then it might happen again and again. So that might be a reason why they didn't really care much about their stock in comparison to getting rid of Jessica. So
this has just been a bad year for SM.
SM did have a lot of troubles this year, let's say. Well, regarding Tyler Gwyn's rumor with Jessica, Tyler Gwyn did state on his own account that the marriage rumor is not true, right?
Yeah,
that is right. So
they keep on denying.
I mean,
like, he keeps denying on it, but you also read articles about how much money that Tyler Gwyn invested into Jessica's own business.
And he's following her around too.
Maybe he wanted to be a business partner, though. You know that's possible. Like, it doesn't always have to be like a guy and a girl who do business together or obviously try to get married. Like, that's sexist, but when you think about it, I feel like when it comes to SM as a company, their biggest aspect of their idol groups, like it's because obviously they try to make money, the biggest thing for them is image. Like, it's always been image. So YG is known for being like more talented, which, quote unquote, you don't want to insult all the SM fans out there, but like if you want to be like a lot, like I was, Simon and Martina had from Eat Your Kimchi had interviewed SHINee, and they asked SM if they could release the video, and SM took like one look at it, and this is like not SM as the whole company because it's a massive company, obviously, like not everyone in the company looked at it, but like I think one of their PR people looked at it and they were like, no, you can't release that. And Simon and Martina, like, they're an independent, like, they're on YouTube, they can release whatever they want. They were just trying to be professional about it and ask them for their permission. So it's like, when it comes down to it, the whole like they are so like everything has to be perfect that like a lot of the time members don't get like as much freedom. They can't go outside. They don't get any sunlight. Like, or like when they do independent activities, SM takes a cut of it. Like drama filming, musical filming, radio shows. SM is still the one who takes part, like, of the money. So, with the whole Jessica leaving, I feel like if it's a business aspect, to me, it still just doesn't make sense, like, that SM would kind of like, you know, like I think it was just like really smart of her that she released like her own statement first, because then that made it like, maybe it started everything, maybe it didn't, but it put her in a better light because everyone already doesn't like the way SM does stuff. But like we all really dislike the way SM does their PR and things like that. But Jessica, like, maybe partially it's like her own, like, it's her own decision, or, you know, you don't know both sides. But there's like, you know, like, most of the blame is gonna end up on SM. So I feel like if they were trying to make a business move, this was a bad business move. So I feel like arguing that, you can argue, you just don't know.
I think SM has their hands in so many honeypots that it may have been a bad business move, but in their opinion, the loss of power that would have come with letting do it is worth the loss.
It's worth it because they've always looked like, if you look at FX fans are always mad that they don't have like a fan group name, and EXO's got theirs first, and they're always focusing all their XOL, I think, right? XOL, yeah. And FX doesn't, like, FX has a lot of talent, but they don't get any attention. So I think that's the same thing with like within this light, is that they don't want to lose their power, and even in front of the people that they're like their own SM people, I guess, and they don't want to like lose their power image. Otherwise, if Jessica can get away with it, then maybe everyone else can start their own things, and like Chris is kind of eating off his popularity in China, and it's like so on and so forth. So I think they kind of just want to end it here and then kind of start anew.
I mean, I get that that's their approach, but like, you know, you look at YG and they're making crap loads of money from like way less groups because they let their members go do whatever the heck they want, you know? They probably take cuts here and there, but when it comes down to it, like, when you let your own members, like, this is statement to SM, when you let your own groups do their own thing, it brings popularity into, like, you know, members going out and getting more publicity. If it's bad publicity, you know, there is that saying, all publicity is good publicity. You can't, like, oh god, it's so frustrating.
But, you know? I mean, like we said, SM's a business.
Yeah.
For businesses, change a lot of times is very scary. You don't want to change. So I can see maybe they might see that. I'm sure they see that. They can't not see YG's doing this and see how successful they're being with it. But they don't want to change their ways because, well, it's been successful for so many years. Why would we want to change it? So.
And if you think it from only SM's perspective of view, as a company, SM is a big company. If you're a company, you want all of your employees to be focused on their work. So if you think about it, Jessica starting, she wasn't even doing like, you know, like Key, it wasn't an official company, right? But Jessica is starting her own company, like own business. She's a CEO, but would you want your employee to be a CEO of a different company? No, you wouldn't, you know? So if you think about it from like totally business perspective, like not popularity or fame or anything, if you think about it from business perspective, of course you wouldn't want your employee to be a CEO of another company that could potentially become a rival, you know?
Yeah. Although that would not become a rival. Yeah.
So I brought this up in our meeting the other day, but so SM's a mafia, right? I mean, like, they try to scare everyone into doing everything together, and if someone's going to try to break off and start their own mafia, then they cut them off. So.
Well, you know, I mean, like, as we all said throughout the discussion, this is all speculation. We don't know the whole truth, but, you know, we can't wholly blame Jessica. We can't wholly blame SM Entertainment. So we have to kind of look into both directions about it. But right now, to end the discussion, you know, Jessica's kind of stuck in a really awkward situation. She's basically still under SM's contract, but she left the group. So I don't know how it's gonna turn out in the future. But I hope the best for both SM Entertainment and Jessica. And
let's all pray that SM can change.
They'll still have their fans though, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but thank you guys, and see you next time. I hope you enjoyed that discussion and feel like you know more about the situation now. Before we take a break, let's check out a few more birthdays. Happy birthday to Akin of Focus, he turned 24 on September 30th. On October 4th, Shori J of Mighty Mouse turned 33, Yubin of Wonder Girls turned 27, and Ilhoon of B2B turned 21.